Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where history meets numismatics and stories are struck into metal. Today we dive deep into the fascinating and richly layered history of the 5-cent coin minted in Canada in the year 2001, a small coin with a big story behind it, born out of over a century of tradition, national symbolism, economic shifts, technological evolution, and cultural identity. We begin our journey not in 2001, but in the mid-19th century, when Canada's monetary system was still in its infancy and the need for smaller denominations was growing as commerce expanded and national unity was forming slowly. But surely the introduction of the 5-cent coin in Canada traces its earliest roots to the era when silver was still the preferred metal for smaller denominations, and the coin was physically tiny, often referred to as the fish scale due to its small size and silver content. But as time progressed and the economy evolved, the need for a more robust and prominently featuring the beloved beaver, a symbol of Canadian industriousness and natural heritage. This design, originally introduced by Canadian artist G.E. Kruger Gray in 1937, became an enduring icon of Canadian coinage, and would go on to be featured in various forms and artistic interpretations over the decades leading up to and beyond the turn of the millennium. Fast forward to the late 1990s and early 2000s, Canada had entered an era of technological advancement and numismatic innovation. The Royal Canadian Mint, based in Winnipeg and Ottawa, was globally recognized for its cutting-edge production techniques and creative commemorative releases. In this context, the 2001 5-cent coin was struck during a pivotal time, a moment where tradition and innovation were in constant dialogue. The coin featured the classic beaver reverse with the inscriptions of Canada and the date 2001 and was minted with advanced multi-ply plated steel technology, a relatively new process at the time that allowed for more economical and environmentally conscious production. While still maintaining the look and feel of traditional coinage, this innovation was part of a larger shift as the mint began moving away from pure nickel to reduce costs and improve vending machine compatibility on the obverse of the 2001 5-cent coin. We find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by artist Dora de Pédery-Hunt, a Canadian sculptor of Hungarian origin. This version of the Queen's effigy had been in use since 1990 and marked a significant moment in Canadian numismatic history, as it was the first portrait of the Queen created by a Canadian artist. It reflects the sovereign in a stately, mature likeness, emphasizing continuity, stability, and the nation's constitutional monarchy. For collectors, the 2001 5-cent coin may at first appear like any ordinary year, but numismatists know that within this coin are hidden stories of mintage variations, die types, finishes, and circulation patterns that make even the most common coin a potential treasure. The year 2001 saw the Royal Canadian Mint issue this coin in several formats, including regular circulation strikes, specimen sets, and proof-quality coins intended for collectors. Each of these variations was struck under different conditions and finishes with minute differences that specialists and passionate collectors study meticulously under magnification, looking for the smallest die crack planchet error or strike doubling that can make a coin unique or particularly valuable. It is also important to understand the economic backdrop of 2001, as Canada was experiencing a period of relative economic stability, but was also beginning to feel the early tremors of global uncertainty, which would culminate in the financial shifts following the events of September 11th. While the coin itself may seem apolitical, the context of its release is important, as money and coinage are always reflections of their times. Furthermore, the 2001 nickel stands as a milestone in the transition toward mass adoption of plated coinage, a hallmark of Canadian minting technology in the 21st century. The move to steel core coins, plated with layers of nickel and copper, allowed for massive cost savings and enabled Canada to set an example for other mints around the world. The implications of this were not only economic, but environmental and strategic, as well ensuring long-term sustainability in coin production while maintaining the public's trust in the physical currency they use every day. Over the next 2 hours, we will delve into everything you need to know about the 2001 5-cent Canadian coin, including its design evolution, technical specifications, minting process, historical influences, commemorative alternatives, and key identifiers that distinguish high-value collectible versions from regular strikes. We will examine archival footage, artist sketches, interviews with mint officials, expert commentary, and high-definition close-ups of various specimens from circulation and collector sets. By the end of this journey, you will not only appreciate the 2001 5-cent coin as a piece of currency, but as a cultural artifact, a product of tradition and innovation, and a reflection of Canadian identity in the dawn of the new millennium. So whether you are a seasoned collector, a curious historian, or someone who just found a 2001 nickel in their change and wanted to learn more, you are in the right place. Get comfortable, get ready, and let's begin the in-depth story of the 2001 Canada 5-cent coin, from concept to circulation, from design to die, from history to heritage. Here on this channel, where coins are more than currency, they are conversation. Now we explore the minting process itself. The Royal Canadian Mint employs both traditional craftsmanship and state-of-the-art engineering to strike millions of coins per year. And the 2001 nickel was no exception, using automated presses capable of striking up to 750 coins per minute. Every blank planche was fed through a system of automated inspection, cleaning, and edge-up orientation before being struck with tremendous pressure under engraved dies. Each die was precision cut, using advanced engraving tools and laser technology to ensure detail clarity for both circulation coins and specially finished collector versions. This year also saw some variation in die polishing levels and striking pressures, resulting in known varieties such as the mirror field specimens and frosted relief strikes, which are of particular interest to collectors. Let us now move on to mintage numbers and distribution. Over 87 million 5-cent coins dated 2001 were minted for general circulation, according to Royal Canadian Mint records, with additional figures produced for proof sets, specimen sets, and mint rolls. Although the number may seem high in relative terms, the 2001 coin actually had a slightly lower mintage than surrounding years, especially when factoring in how many were later pulled from circulation, melted down, or damaged through natural wear. This gives some 2001 specimens Royal Canadian Mint sets, including the standard uncirculated coin set, the specimen set, and the premium proof set, each with a different level of polish and production care. The proof version, for example, features frosted details on a mirror field struck multiple times for enhanced clarity, while specimen versions offer a satin finish with slightly sharper relief than regular circulation coins. These sets are often sought out for the purpose of building full-year collections or finding the cleanest version of a standard design without blemish or wear. But what truly excites numismatists are the errors and die varieties present in 2001. There are examples of off-center strikes, die chips known as cud errors, die clashes, and even double strikes where coins were struck more than once due to mechanical malfunction or alignment issues. One especially interesting and rare variant involves die deterioration, doubling sometimes mistaken for true doubling. This results in a fuzzy or ghosted second image, especially noticeable in the date numerals or lettering around the perimeter. The presence of any such anomaly can drastically increase a coin's value and appeal, depending on its clarity, rarity, and the demand among collectors. Now we turn our attention to the economic and historical backdrop of Canada in 2001, a year marked by cautious optimism entering a new century as the country maintained steady GDP growth, a strong dollar, and a relatively low inflation rate in early months. However, by September of that year, global events, including the attacks in the United States, caused financial tremors worldwide, and though Canada was not directly targeted, the psychological and economic impact was felt in consumer confidence, market fluctuation, and currency demand, all of which subtly influenced coin distribution. Like the 1-cent coin began facing discontinuation debates, which would culminate in the penny's removal from circulation a decade later. This makes the 2001 5-cent coin part of the final full decade of traditional coin circulation as Canadians knew it. Finally, we must place the 2001 nickel in global context. Few countries had yet adopted steel core-plated coinage by this point, and Canada was among the leaders in doing so, a decision which earned praise from international mint organizations and set a new standard for how cost-effective coinage could function without sacrificing aesthetic or tactile quality. As a result, Canadian coins from this period, especially standard denominations like the 5-cent piece, are studied by mints and metallurgists worldwide looking to replicate similar efficiencies. This gives the 2001 nickel global importance not just as a piece of national currency, but as a benchmark in coinage technology. So as we continue our journey into this remarkable coin, we encourage viewers to pull out their own change jars, their collector books, their magnifying lenses, and examine their 2001 5-cent coins with fresh eyes. For each of these tiny pieces of metal tells a story not just of nickel and steel, but of nationhood, of legacy, of technology, and of transition at the dawn of a new millennium.